Allow me to start by introducing myself. My name's Dave Sammett. I'm the coordinator of the RACI mentoring program, but I'm just one of several people on a committee that helps run both the RACI mentoring program and the careers development program. I'd like to start this evening by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we are meeting all around Australia, their elders past, present and emerging, what we can learn from them and what they've achieved over the years. I'd also like to thank the sponsors of the mentoring program, or the careers development program, both DCS Technical, Envirolab and Laboratory Credit Union. So, look, you've all come here tonight to find out a little bit more about the mentoring program. Hopefully we have both mentees and mentors. So just to sort of start, RACI has two parallel careers programs that run side by side. We have a careers development program and we have a mentoring program. The careers development program is free and we try to offer it as widely as possible, not just to chemists, but to scientists, business students, people all over Australia, because we just want to do some good in the world. So we offer webinars, networking events, workshops, training. There'll be a lot more resources coming through. Everything that we can do to try and reach as many people as possible and to help as many people as possible. Virtually everything that we do in the careers development program is free. As I say, we're just trying to do some good in the world. Running in parallel to the careers development program is the RACI mentoring program. Now, the RACI mentoring program is only for chemists and only for RACI members. Membership can be as little as $25 for a student member. And what we do is we do a lot more intensive work, you know, where people can come and go in the careers, they can attend what they want, what they don't want. What we're trying to achieve in the mentoring program is to give you the best possible leg up in your early career that we can. So we take undergraduate students, we take postgraduate students, both masters and PhD, and we also take early career scientists, generally through the first 3 or 4 years of your career, although we are looking at what we might do to help people as they advance in their career as well. The program has been running for, this will be our 9th year next year, I think, or possibly 10th year, I'd have to check. And it grows every year. So it started as a little tiny program here in New South Wales and has become a national program. We have active participation from mentees around Australia. And what we try to do is we try and work with you in 3 ways. We want to grow your understanding of the language of the workforce. Basically, we want to help you be as ready for the workforce as possible so that when you talk to a potential employer and you use the right language, that employer thinks, oh, great, this person understands how they're going to work in my business. And therefore, that employer considers you a much more desirable candidate. Secondly, we're going to work extensively with you to develop your skills to go out and find great jobs quickly. We help you work on how to network, how to apply for good jobs, how to conduct a really good interview. All of the core skills that you need, not just in your first job, but in all through your early career. And of course, the aspect of networking is such that, you know, networking is a key skill throughout your career, and it's not a skill that comes naturally. You know, you show me any young person who can walk into a room full of strangers and feel comfortable about making new connections, and I'll show you somebody who's well on the spectrum to being a psychopath. You know, it is a nerve-wracking experience, but there is a great deal that we can teach you about how to network effectively, how to overcome the nerves, simple strategies and techniques that you can apply to make that whole process much easier for you. And then, and this is the other critical thing, we work with you to actually grow your network. We do what we call facilitated networking. So when you go to a physical event, once COVID lifts, we'll make sure that there's a mentor or a connection at that physical event who can introduce you to people, make sure that you're included in conversations, pave the way for you to make those new connections. And alternatively, we can, you tell us what you're interested in and who you're interested in meeting, and we can facilitate introductions. I mean, we have a vast network of people that we already know. And when I don't already know people, I'll go and introduce myself and then introduce the mentee. So in 2021, we had 83 mentees and mentors paired up with each other. So we pair you one-on-one with somebody who ideally works in your field of interest, somebody who has a network that is relevant to the career that is of interest to you. And that might be very specific, or it might be very general. It might be in commercial science, it might be in industrial science, it might be in academia, it might be in government. It might be that you don't really have a good idea where you want to be in life. And so the first thing we do is introduce you to a diversity of people so that you can help determine what it is that interests you. Now, in terms of participation, by the way, can I just say we have a chat function and we also have a Q&A function. If anybody has questions while I ramble, please, I strongly encourage you to ask your questions, because the whole point of this is to be interactive. So anyway, what does participation mean? Look, participation will vary from month to month. Your lives will vary. Your studies will vary. There is no hard and fast rule that applies from month to month. But as a general rule of thumb, I like to say, plan to spend 3 to 4 hours per month doing mentoring activities. A little bit of learning, a little bit of practice, and then physically a little bit of networking, right? Whether it's online or whether it's face-to-face. We do a lot of online stuff to encourage the participation of regional participants, but also because, a lot of young people are quite mobile. You might be living in Victoria but keen to look at opportunities in Queensland. Well, what a great way to use online to build your network in Queensland before you ever get there. Our success rate is enviable. We haven't checked 2021 yet, but we're still waiting to send out that survey. But for instance, in previous years, of the mentees who were a very good question has come from one attendee, and I'll answer that in a moment. For the mentees who were still students, over 90% of our student mentees graduated from university with a job already waiting for them, or getting a job within a month of graduation. Generally, our mentees fall into two groups in that respect. They either say, I'm going to work while I'm still at university so that I get a job so that it's waiting for me when I graduate, or no, I don't want to look for a job right now. I want to focus on my studies, but I want to get a job quickly after I graduate. Now, that 90% success rate is significantly better than the national average. The median period of unemployment for recent graduates is 4 months, and that is worse for STEM students. We've been asked a question from the floor is how do we get matched with mentors? So when you sign up for the mentoring program, understand this, we take just about everyone who applies. It's not a competitive application process. We ask you to submit an application so that we can judge your skills and so we can learn more about you. Judging your skills helps us focus the sort of training that you might need and the type of assistance you might need. And then telling us more about you helps us match you with a mentor. So the process is you sign up to be a member of RACI first, then as a member you sign up for the mentoring program. We will send you a SurveyMonkey survey to ask you about yourself. And you just basically say, on this particular issue, let's say, am I interested in inorganic chemistry? And we'll give you a sliding scale of how interested you are or how interested you are not. We give you a whole bunch of different categories. You tell us what you are or are not interested in. And we do the same with mentors. What do they have experience in, or what do they have a network in? And then we run a special mathematical algorithm to do as best we can to match people quantitatively with each other to try and give the best possible match. We prioritize local matches, but if there is a really good match that is remote, we may match you with somebody out of state, but still strongly encourage you to network locally. So we do it a bit of a hybrid model if you're doing remote mentoring. So that's how we match you. Now, as I say, we're asked 3 to 4 months of your 3 to 4 hours a month of your time on average, right? There's two things that go with that. Now, firstly, let's look at the dollars. If we can decrease your period of unemployment from, say, 4 months to, say, 1 month, at an average graduate salary of $60,000 a year, that's $15,000 difference to your life. Now, if we say the program goes for 12 months, and we say that you're putting in 4 hours a month, that's 48 hours. Let's round it off to 50 to be simple. So that means that you're getting a return on investment of $300 per hour for your participation in the mentoring program, right? That, you know, and that is a, you know, there's no job that you're doing right now that will have a more tangible and direct effect on your employment outcomes. And there's certainly no job that you're doing that will give you $300 an hour for your time. So it is utterly worth participating. The second thing that we do is we actually send you a monthly survey to track your participation. And if you have participated with a relatively small number of activities, so meeting with your mentor, watching one of our events or the associated video, doing a training task, going and networking anywhere at a RACI event or otherwise, everything earns you a point. If you get 10 points in a year, then you get a certificate of completion of the mentoring program. Okay, we're getting a question from Marta. Is the mentoring program free with Iraqi membership, or is there an additional charge? Okay, there is an additional charge. It's $165 with GST to participate in the mentoring program. I will say this, I will emphasize this, that is a well less than 1/3 of what it costs us to deliver the service. The only reason that we have a charge is because it stops people, well, it slows people from signing up and then ghosting us. If you've got a little bit of skin in the game, you've got more reason to participate in the program. And if we're going to spend a lot of money trying to support you, we want you to stick around. The second part of Marta's question is, would you say the program is more appropriate for chemists in undergrad or postgrad? I would say it makes absolutely no difference. You come in, look, I would generally say this is a jobs-oriented program. So what you want to do is start your participation roughly a year before you want to get a job. So that you've got a year to learn all those skills and build the network so that you're ready when the time comes to get a job to actually go out and find one quickly. So if you're an undergrad and that's all you plan to ever do, hey, I only did undergrad. I left university like I was shot from a cannon. I couldn't imagine the idea of sticking around at university any longer than getting my honours degree. So fine, you know. You don't even have to be doing honours. If you could be a third-year chemist. Now, we do also take people who have longer to go at university, and we often have people who participate in the mentoring program for 2 years consecutive and then change their mentor and grow their network in a different way. We perfectly welcome that, right? So there's no hard and fast rule. And certainly, you know, what we try to do, I really emphasize this, we try to match you with someone who meets your needs. So if you're an early career chemist, you have a different set of needs than a PhD, and you have a different set of needs again than an undergrad. So we try and find someone who meets your particular needs. Okay, how long does the program run for? Broadly, it varies from participant to participant because we tailor everything to your needs. Your relationship with your mentor is very individual, and then your relationship with us is fully supportive. But as a general rule of thumb, we have a kickoff event in or around February to coincide with university year starting up, and we generally wrap it up in late November, early December, towards the academic year finishing up. But of course, we have mentees who finish in the middle of the year, and so we work with them more intensively so that they're ready to graduate. You know, they're ready to get a job mid-year. We don't want to still be working with them when they've been unemployed for 6 months. We want them to have as close to zero unemployment as possible. So broadly, the program runs for 12 months, but it varies from participant to participant. The next question. What if we've already graduated? Can we still apply for the program? Absolutely, you can. This year, about 15% of our mentees were early career scientists, and we've had a delightful time working with them. You know, you just have a different set of needs, and you know, we adjust and we match you to a mentor who fits your particular circumstances. Absolutely, yeah. So keep those questions coming. In the meantime, Erin, can you just answer me in the chat here, please? Would you be willing, so Erin is actually a former mentee from a couple of years ago. Erin, would you be willing to come up and join me here on the panel? Sure, great. Okay, give me 1 sec. I'm going to promote Erin up here. How you doing there, Erin?
Oh, here we go. Oh, hello. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Just great, thanks. Now, Erin, you were a 2020 mentee, weren't you?
I was indeed, yeah.
Excellent. So what would you like to tell the world about your experience in the mentoring program?
It's definitely worthwhile investing in, and it's not easy to get out there and mentor yourself. And by enrolling yourself in this program, and there is a financial push to do it as well, you kind of force yourself to have to do it, which is really good, because in a lot of situations there'll be a networking night or something and you might not feel entirely comfortable or confident, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll just give it a miss. But because you've got this push behind you of, actually, no, I've already put something behind this, it makes you go and take advantage of those opportunities. So I think it's really good to get involved.
Now, of course, Erin, you've also got very involved. You really built your personal profile. You're still quite involved in RACI, of course. And how do you feel that has that participation has helped your career in general?
Oh, massively, massively. Like, there are so many instances where I'll start talking to someone about one person and then my name will pop up in some other context, or I'll know them through somebody else I know. Everyone's connected, and it's only later on in your career that you kind of realize how much that occurs.
Absolutely.
And it's also good in terms of introductions, because you already have some kind of common ground that you can talk about. So I'm a little bit socially awkward sometimes if I don't know the other person and what kind of information they would be interested in. But because we have some kind of foundation which is similar, it's a lot easier to interact with.
Absolutely. Now, does anybody have any questions of Erin while she's up here with me? Somebody's asked, I know most of the career development sessions were run after hours, 5 p.m. Is it a similar thing with the mentoring program related things? No, you're mentoring, you meet with your mentor whenever it suits you and your mentor. So you arrange that direct with your mentor. Erin, how often did you meet with your mentor?
We met probably once every maybe 2 months, but we would keep in email contact a lot more regularly. So that was a lot easier for us, because our time schedules were quite hard to match up.
Yeah. And how did you find overall your match with your mentor?
Oh, it was really good. It was as good of a match that I could have gotten without knowing the other person. And I don't know the people in the fields that I'm interested in, and like, without the mentoring program, I wouldn't have had that connection in the first place.
Out of curiosity, how long were you unemployed after finishing your studies?
I was going to go straight into a job, but I had a few conferences that they wanted me to present my honours work at, so I pushed back my start date to about 2 weeks afterwards. But otherwise, it would have been straight after I finished.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And actually, interesting. Somebody's asked, will an employer wait for you to finish your degree? And the answer is yes. You know, if you've timed it right and you're the right candidate, absolutely, they'll wait for you. As it sounds, your employer.
Yeah, it's definitely a negotiation as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is. It is. So with my employer, especially after honours, everyone always tells you that it's quite stressful at the end, and it is. Trust me, the thesis writing can get quite stressful. So sometimes taking a week or two extra just to relax and ease yourself into the job is a good step as well.
Yeah. Now, of course, Erin, you were very involved in the Young Chemist group, weren't you? Or what's now called the Early Career Chemist group.
Yeah, we just had our AGM about a week or two ago. So I'm no longer the chair of that, but I'm still heavily involved as the treasurer. So if anyone wants to get involved or check out some of our events we've got coming up, let me know and I'll forward you some details.
Absolutely. So it's very much worth emphasizing. Look, you're part of the careers development program, you're part of the mentoring program, but RACI has a huge diversity of specialized groups, including an early career chemist group, which is a great opportunity to network with people of a like mind and similar interests. So, you know, in New South Wales, as example, we have bioactive, pharmaceutical, analytical and environmental, organic chemistry, consultants. Help me out here, Erin. What am I missing? There's 20 odd groups in New South Wales alone. There's a similar number in Victoria, and the number varies from state to state. So there's always an opportunity to network with people in your field of interest. You don't just have to network with everybody who walks through the door. So Erin,
yeah, definitely. And I also recommend, if you are interested in like one particular group, say you want to join the early career chemist group, don't hesitate from also joining another group, because everyone's got slightly different connections and slightly different interests. And as the RACI, we've got lots of connections and lots of groups. So make the most of that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Erin. Do you have any final things? I won't keep you on forever. Do you have any final comments?
I would say that if questioning it, maybe umming and give it a shot.
Yeah, excellent, excellent.
There's a lot of things in life where you see and read back, but this is something that...
Oops, you just pushed mute. Okay, we might have lost Erin there. Good to see Humphrey B. Bear making an appearance as well. Okay, Erin, thank you very much. I'm going to push you back down to the audience now, and I'll just continue. Now, anyone else who wants to ask questions, by all means, I'm happy to make you a co-host or just let you speak. But for now, there's Erin. Okay, a couple more questions. Hi, Dave. I'm a very passionate international student. I feel like I'd be a great fit for the program. I've also prospects of working and living in Australia. And the answer, what are my chances of getting through? Absolutely. Look, every year we have a bunch of international students, right? We will take anybody who is interested in living and working in Australia long term, okay? There's no point in me teaching you how to get a job in Australia if you're going to go and work in Indonesia, because the job markets are very, very different. The patterns are very, very different. Even between relatively similar countries like Australia and Canada, or Australia and the UK, they can be very, very different. But you certainly do not need to be an Australian citizen to be a mentee. Every year we have lots of international students, and I like to think that we do a really good job of helping international students acclimatise, develop the skills to find great jobs quickly in Australia, and then go on and succeed. You know, we've had some real success stories, including just recently, a couple of weeks ago, we had a new Australian who found her job, and I couldn't be more thrilled. Okay, another question. Sorry, the question about when the sessions are run. So yes, this year we initiated a program called Careers Thursday, and every Thursday night we ran an event at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The idea behind that was to make it predictable, so that nobody expected someone to turn up to 50 plus, anyone to turn up to 50 plus events. What we had hoped that by having an event the same night, same time every week, people would know that if they have time that week, they can just turn up and hear something and learn something interesting. But doing a weekly event has been brutal. So next year in 2022, we will not be running events every single week. We'll mix them up a little bit more, the timing and whatnot. And we're also going to put a lot more focus on developing resources that you can access at your leisure, do learning at your leisure. We're looking at introducing micro-credentialing, so that you can do very small courses and get badges and things that you can put onto your LinkedIn, so that you can get some extra skills, but without necessarily having to turn up at the same time each week. Look, I know it was always a failing that it didn't matter what time I picked of day or night, weekday or weekend, I was never going to be able to pick a time that suited everybody. So what we did instead is we held the events and then we recorded the events. And right now we have approximately 50 recorded events on our YouTube channel that you can access anytime. That was the compromise that we had to make to get through. Okay. So I'll just quickly go through. Okay. Hi, Dave. I'm graduating in December 2023. Is it advantageous for me to enroll this November? Can I continue through my third and honours years? Absolutely, you can. And yes, it is advantageous. What I really see is those students who participate for a second year, they have a much stronger network. They have a lot more confidence. So my mentee this year, Simon, he's a second year mentee. I virtually didn't need to mentor him this year. He was so good at the skills. So what I mostly did this year was help him work on his network. You know, so I guess that's a key point. You know, the mentoring that he got this year evolved from what he had last year because he was returning. So yeah, absolutely. If you're in a third year, I also strongly reach out to the PhDs out there. There is nothing better that you can do for your career as a PhD student than